Let's begin our interviews with BJP MP who was with the Congress, Rita Bahuguna Joshi. Ms. Joshi, thank you so much for joining us right here on NDTV. Last year, the same situation in the Congress and now this. How would you respond to this crisis in the Congress?
Well, I think the country is not surprised. We were all expecting the same thing, but there was a difference this time. This time there was a kind of a revolt from within the party, and all senior leaders and youngsters, some youngsters also, who are dissatisfied with the functioning of the party, came out in the open. You see, earlier it would be murmurs inside the drawing rooms. I know I was also there for about 20 years and I know how things proceeded. One did not dare to speak against the leadership. But now at least some people have come out vocally and they have spoken. But the way they were treated and the way they were snubbed and the way, support was garnered from other places and from other levels, that was, I think, in a bad taste. And this party is doomed. Take it from me with my experience of 30 years in active politics and 55, 60 years watching politics within the family, from the family. Nobody can save the Congress now because they have chosen the destructive path.
Nobody can save the Congress. That's a very, I would say, very presumptuous on your part, Rita Joshi. But, you know, the space to register dissent in the Congress party, would you say that it's shrinking? That anyone who does that will be met with the immediate call for disciplinary action?
But who was responsible for this? See, the leadership was always very, very strongly against any dissent. They sidelined you, they snubbed you, they showed disrespect to you openly. They could do everything that they wanted. But where were the leaders? Why couldn't they speak? If a person like me could go to Rahul Gandhi ji 1 year before the 2014 elections and tell him that our boat is sinking, please do something about it. 2017, sorry, when the Vidhan Sabha elections were closed. So why couldn't other people speak? They would speak indoors, but they would not like to speak openly. There was disgruntlement all along, I promise you. There was not a single leader who was happy, except those who were picked up from somewhere and given slushy positions, pushy positions in the party. So I think this is the first time when senior leaders have come out, people with 30, 40 years of service to the party. I recall how my father was humiliated and how he, just because he spoke against the emergency, was forced to resign. So this tendency has been continuing for decades. But this is the 21st century and there is the Modi Modi factor, and we see how he has kept a progeny away and how within the BJP anybody can come up if they are struggling hard. So I feel that the Congress had an opportunity to change, and I would have loved to see that Sonia Gandhi, who had, when she was offered the Prime Ministership in 2004, and she very strongly said that no, not me, and she nominated proposed Manmohan Singh. Why couldn't she do the same now? She could have done it. But I think it's love for the children and love for the family that has kept her back. Bad for the party and bad for democracy, because the BJP also wants, the ruling party wants a strong opposition. And a democracy requires a strong opposition.
Ms. Joshi,
which I think the Congress is totally failing in. And as a party, they're going to dismember very fast.
Okay, they will dismember very fast. You have the choices of words for your previous party. Let's talk about the party in which you are in right now. Many would argue that in BJP, your present party, you will not get the opportunity to criticize within, the leadership. Like, for instance, what will happen if you were to criticize Mr. Modi or Shah in a party platform or highlight the deficiencies? How are these two parties different then?
No, they're different in a way. They're different because, you see, when within the forum you can talk, but in the Congress party, they were not allowed to even talk within the forum. They were not allowed to talk within the forum. I have seen how we were so distanced from the leadership. I had met your team during the elections in 2019 when they came to Allahabad. And I told him then that there's going to be total rout of the Congress. See, the people have lost faith. So this party has to do something to regain the the trust of the people. And with the leadership of Rahul ji or Priyanka ji, it's not possible at all. And as far as other things are concerned, the Congress party, you can see that those people who have been there for so long and they are still powerful. They are leaders, they are in charges of different states. They have come out openly, they have dared to come out openly. But they have gone back, So in the BJP, it's not at all like that, and I feel that things are much very different. And the leadership is doing its bit. They are in touch with the people, their sentiments, they're working well, the government is functioning very well with transparency. So there is hardly any space for dissent. Where is the space for dissent in the BJP? When the government is running well, the party is running well, the workers are on the ground. Look at this COVID-19 period.
No.
The way the BJP workers have toured or gone door to door, kind of lending out support and help to the people. So, see, you dissent when there is a bad situation. And the Congress is in the worst situation.
Well, the only thing that I can say
is because the leadership did not allow even internal dissent.
No,
if you go around and see the speeches of some of the leaders in the past who could stand up to the leadership and talk, they were ruined. So there was fear of that also, which has brought Congress to this stage.
Okay, but then again, the one thing that can be said for the present day BJP is that the leadership issue is settled. But is everything all right? Are people not feeling very strongly about certain things and then not coming out and saying it? That could also very well be a possibility. We have seen that happen also in the past. Now, my final question to you is, you think the Gandhi family is reluctant to take over control fully, and yet at the same time not fully releasing control also, and there is where the problem lies?
I think both the brother and sister are incapable of leadership. They do not have that sense, they do not have the feel, they do not have... see, the way Rahul ji snubbed the leaders, it was not done. It's not done in politics. He should have appreciated. And that at least some people have come up and spoken. Like in Hindi you say, Nindak nire rakhiye. If you keep your, if you hear to criticism, you improve upon that. I think both of them lack leadership qualities, and Mrs. Gandhi's insistence that she will find space for them in the party, I think that is very destructive, not good for the party at all. And where is the leadership? In successive decades, all strong leaders have been sidelined. Those who are talking now have a very poor, what would you say, career at the back. Their performance in the back has not been good. What were they doing when people like us were being thrown out of the party, were being forced out of the party? Then none would speak. They would tell us that we were wrong. So you see, anybody who has some self-respect, anybody who has some commitment to people's issues, somebody who wants to deliver on the ground, others who are here in politics not for self-aggrandizement, but to give back to the society something which they feel they could give. Then if such people are not there in the party, then what can you think of? If the kind of people have been eased out of the party in decades. It started in the 70s, and sycophancy and total surrender to the leadership, Haji. And the last thing that I would like to say is, I remember Vinoba Bhave's words. He used to always say, when you start talking I, you're moving towards destruction. It's only when you say we that you succeed. So this party has stopped talking about we 4 decades, 5 decades back. So I don't see any hope in the Congress party with this leadership.
Okay, you are not in that party, so perhaps you will not be witness to any change also, if at all it happens in the Congress party. But thank you so much for your views.